Hey guys, and welcome again with a new video in my channel. Okay, in this video we'll create a website with advanced CSS with some amazing image that I created within a Photoshop and without any JavaScript. And if you want, you can create a before and after of the CSS instead of image, as you can see like this video. I have this video that I upload in the same day in my channel. You can watch it now in my channel, guys. Okay, and before to start creating a website, last thing I say, this is a part 2 and I have a part 1 in my channel for a beginner. If you guys want to something simple, you can watch a part 1 to start creating a website. So if you're ready, let's create something amazing. Okay, now first of everything, let me create a hero for a home page. And inside the hero, let me create a header for our menu. Okay, and create h1 for a logo. Name it logo, classes, and logo. Now create a nav list menu, guys. Okay, ul, add the name a class list, name it nav. Okay, and the first list let be a home. Let me just copy and paste it. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, second list be about. Third list be a vlog, and fourth list be a contact. Okay, this is our menu, guys, and with the logo. Now let me create a box for this title and this 3 image, as you can see it in this home page. So first of everything, let me create a div and name it grid box, and let me inside the hero because it's our home image. Okay, grid box. And now let me create a title. Let's use a simple name. So I type a title. Okay. And now inside this div title, let me create h1 AI payment generation. And for the p of the description, let me just copy this and paste it. You can watch this video and you can just type it, guys, if you want. I just want to finish this HTML and go in a CSS because our goal is a CSS, not HTML. Okay, now we have a title box. Now I want to create this 3 square and circle in just one box. So let me create a box for this square and the circle. Let me name it home image, and inside the home image, and let me create a div for every this image, as we can see in the video. Just let me create a simple name, and let's be a first for this one, and the image be image circle. Okay, this is the first image, second image, and third image. Let me just change the name, second and third one. This will be a square, PNG, and this. Okay, this is our image, and this is our home image box, and this is our title box. Okay, we finish our hero page of our home page. Let me create a section for about page. So let me just create a section, and first step about, which is a real div. And now inside about, let me create a text. So text, inside text, add h1 and type explore the payment. Okay, this is for h1, and now for a description p, and again just copy and paste it. I'm sorry for this, guys. Okay, and this is for p. Okay, now this is our text. And now for creating this 3 box, as you can see in a video, this is 3 box of the icon and the text inside it. So let me create a div for all the 3 box be inside this div. So let's name it about row. This is the boss of all the 3 box. Okay, now inside about row, let me create a simple name, a row, which is a box of this icon and the text. And now inside the row, create icon div, add the icon. Okay, and for the text, h3, let me just copy paste it. Okay, this is for h3, and now this is a first box. Let me just copy this row and paste it 2 times to be a 3 box, to add the display flex inside the about row to be a 3 box inside of this. Okay, this is a 3 box of the icon. Let me just change the text and the icon. Oh, I'm sorry guys, I must be inside the about. I'm sorry for this. Let me inside it. Yes, let me here. Okay, inside about to be a text first and about row. This is a 3 box. Okay, now we create this about. Let's go next and create this page of the buy. So let me create again a section because we have a new page. Let's name it buy. And inside the buy, now let me just add a new name instead of about row. So let me name it row box. Okay, now let me add a box inside it. Let me add it to row 2 instead of row, because I want to add this different style inside the row 2. Now add the icon 2, and let me just copy paste it. Okay, and the text again, copy paste. Okay, as you can see, we have this row 2 box. It's just like a same of about page. We just add the same, but we just change the name of the classes inside of this buy page. Now let me add 2 more div, because I want to add a display flex to have a 3 box, just like this box, as you can see. Let me inside the row box. So let me here and create a div. Let me just name it simple. So let me just name it div1 and div2. Okay, this means a second box and a third box, and we can use a flex to be a space between after this 3 box, as you can see it. Okay, now just copy this row box and paste it 2 times. Okay, now in this second row box, as you can see it, we want to change or replace it. Let me just be a top. Row 2, let me a last. Okay, and let me just row 2, row 1, and let me add a square by, because I want to add this square, as you can see, in the center of this buy page. So square by now is better. We have this div2, div square by, div1, and the row 2. And yeah, I think everything is set. Let me just check it. Okay, yeah, everything is checked. Oh, let me just change a text and icon. I'm sorry, this be this, and for this, and this is the third one, as you can see. Okay, now we can go for the contact. Okay, now we go for the contact page. Let's go next. Let me create a section and name it contact. This is a contact page. So in a contact, we want the text and this form. So first I start with the text, h1. Let me just copy and paste it fast. Okay, and now let me create a form inside the contact form. And we don't have action because we don't have a PHP. We still have a node because we use a simple HTML CSS. We don't have a PHP. So input the type be a text, and let me add a placeholder to your name. Let me just copy paste it again. Mail, email. Okay, now let me add a text area, placeholder. Let me enter your description. Okay, now let me add a button. The type be a submit, and inside be a submit. Okay, this is a form of this contact page. Now let's go to create a last or two section more, which is this footer and this copyright. So let me start with this footer, add a section, and let me add a class list, because as you can see I have this background of the black. I want to add this background in a section. So let me add a class list for that, because I want to add a background. Class list, bg footer. Okay, now inside the class list, now inside the bg footer, add the footer. And now let me add a logo text, or let me add a text. Okay, add the h1, or I don't know, h1. Okay, I'm sorry, h1 logo. And for the p, a new way with AI payment. Okay, this is our text of the logo and the description, as you can see. Now for the link, let me create a flex footer, because I want to have this three in one box. Okay, so flex footer. Now inside flex footer, let me create a cool to add the display flex and the flex section column be in the next line of the links. Okay, so cool, and add the p useful link. Okay, oh, I'm sorry. Now let me add the a. First one be a contact. Oh no, content. Content, yes. Content, yes. Copy paste it. Second one be a work. Third one be a create. And the fourth one be explore. Fourth, okay, and this be terms and services. Okay, now let me just copy this code and paste it 2 times. Okay, now let me just change links and this appear. So let me just do it quick. Okay, this will be this, and this will be this. Okay, we have this. Yes, everything is, I think, is good. Yep, everything is set. Now let's a section. Let me create it, and let me add a class list for it. And because I want to add a padding 0 instead of add a padding. Okay, now inside it, let me just name it copyright div. Now inside the copyright, add the text and name it logo alright received as your logo. Okay, good. This is our HTML, as you can see it. And let me just check it. Oh, okay, now everything is set. And let me just add a link of the style sheet. Link is CSS, style.css, and one more link for the media. Yes, okay. Now let me start the CSS. So in a CSS, let me add a quick start for this to add the margin 0 and the padding 0. And for the font family, let me a system a UI. Okay, now let me create a body to add the color and the background. For the color, let me a ghost white, and the background let me a this color. Okay, this is our background, And now let me add a WebKit scroll bar, and you can just pause the video and just type it. This is for a style of this scroll bar, and I don't think we need to explain it how we create this. So let's go next and let me create a hero page. So in a hero, I want to add width 100% and the height be 100 ph, be 100 ph. This is our home page, so be a 100 ph. And let me add the position relative because I want to add this circle instead of using image. So instead of using image, let me create this before. Let me just copy paste it and add a before. Okay, I know I save using instead of before using image, but I think before the CSS is better from the image. So if you don't like this circle, you can just skip off, or you don't like it before and after of the CSS, you can just skip off the video every time when I use a before and just keep looking for this new code. You can just skip it, guys, for every before and after. Okay, so let me just add the content empty, position absolute, top -4%, left 80%, and add the transform translate -50%, -50%. Now set the width and the height 350 pixel. Height 350 pixel. Okay, now for the box shadow, 0 pixel, 0 pixel, 100 pixel. Oh yeah, I 100 pixel, I think it's good. Yeah, 100 pixel. And let me add this color. And by the way, we don't use a background, just a box shadow, and we create this beautiful circle. Okay. And as a default, if you don't use a background, it will be a transparent. It will be transparent to use inside it for using image, just like you see in the first video, guys. Okay. Let me just copy and paste it. Okay, let's be a 50 pixel. Now for the inset to be in color be inside it, let me add the inset 0 pixel, 5 pixel, 5 pixel, and the color be this. Okay, and now let me add 2 inset more, and let's use RGB 5 pixel minus 5 pixel and 5 pixel of this RGB. Let's inset 30 pixel, 10 pixel, 35 pixel, 5 pixel, and let be a RGB, let be this. Okay, this is a box shadow, and let me add the border radius to be a circle, 50%. Here we go. This is our beautiful circle. And just like I said, if you don't like using before, just skip it. Let's just use a before. Let's just use the image instead of the before and after of the CSS. Okay, now we create a hero before. Now let's go for the next, and let me start with the header. So in a header, let me add the padding 40 pixel 10% and the display flex to be in the same line, and the justify content space between align item center, and add the position relative. There we go. Now for the nav, we just add the classes of the nav for the all nav of all link. So in nav I want to add the display flex to be in the same line, and the list side type be none. Here we go. Now for nav LIA, for the link I want to add the color and the font size, or no, I want to add just a color. Let's just use a color. Okay, let me just use ghost white. Text decoration be none. And padding 10 pixel, 30 pixel, margin 10 pixel, or no, 0 pixel, 10 pixel, transition. For the hover, there we go. Now let me just create a hover for this hover, and let me use this box shadow. So let me add the first, let me use this box shadow, the same box shadow. Okay, and let me add a border radius 20 pixels. There we go. Beautiful. Now for the logo, we set a classes inside the logo for our logo. So let me font size 2.5, and let me add a span to add something different color. Okay, let's add this color, and let me add a span in HTML. I just forget again. Okay, span. Let me inside the disco, and let me add this AI. Okay, there we go. This is our span color, and now for H3, let font size it. Okay, font size 1.6 rem. Font weight, add it 500. Margin button 10 pixel. Line height 35 pixel. Max width 500 pixel. Yeah. Now for the H1, let me just copy and paste it. Okay, H1. I think I don't need the max width. Yep, and instead of a line height, let me use a letter spacing. 2 pixel is enough. Okay, and yeah, and for the font size, let me 2.5 rem, just like a logo. And let me just copy again, paste it for the description P. The font size be a 1.3 rem. And let me use. Okay, now for the margin button, 35 pixel. And let's use a line height. Okay, there we go. This is for description. Now for, let me just style the section to add the padding inside it. So for every padding, for every section we want to go in the next page. So for the padding, let me 0 pixel, 10%. 170 pixel, 10%. Okay, this is our padding. Now next is a styling of this title that we have here. Let's use a custom style. So let me just copy, paste it. Let me add the title. Okay. And for this. And let me use a max width because I want to add the display grid. Okay, max width 500 pixel. Okay, yes, now good. And let the font size be a 3.5 rem. There you go. Beautiful. Okay, now let's go to style this box of the grid box. So in a grid box, let's use a display grid instead of legs, and the grid template column, repeat, 2, 1 of 4. Align item, center, position absolute, padding 0 pixel, 10%. Okay. Okay, now set the width 100% and the top, yes, let the height, use the height 60% is enough. Top 50%, left 0% because we add the padding. Okay, 0%. And for the transform, translate y minus 50% to become in the center. Now why I use this height 60%? Because I want to add this because I want to add a custom height in this grid box. So I add this height 60%. Okay, now let's use a home image. Now let me style the home image. Okay, in a home image of this box, real box. Okay, I want to add the width 100%, height 100%, and the position relative. There we go. And now let me just create this circle. As you can see in the first video, I don't use an image, and I just, like I said, you can just skip it because I want to use this circle inside it. And if you just using a box shadow and don't use a background, it will be transparent as a normal. So let me just copy this and paste it. I think it's beautiful to use it before for this circle instead of image. So in a home image before, let's be at top 50% to be a center, left 50%. Okay, Now for set the width and the height, 450 pixel, 450 pixel, and let's just use 70 pixel, and this be a 15 pixel. I think it's good. 5 pixel, 5 pixel. Yes, I think it's better now. Okay, and yeah, I think it's beautiful, guys. And I don't know how to create a circle in a Photoshop, so I just use it before instead of image. Sorry for that, guys. But anyway, let's go for the next, and let me just style off this image. So first, let me add the position absolute because I want to set the position for it. Top be 39%, left 68%. Okay, this is the first, and now for the second and the third. Second, third, 39% again, and minus 12%. And now for this third one, let me top be a 0 and 35%. I think good. Okay, now let's resize this image. So the first image, let me add the width 190 pixel, and set the height ITO, display block, and the margin 0 ITO, because I wanted this image be in center of this box of this home image. So I added this display flex and margin 0 ITO. Okay, and let me just copy paste it. Second image and the third image, second, third. Okay, now in a second image, let be 500 pixel, and in a third image, let be 285 pixel. 285 pixel, and yeah. Okay, yep, everything is fine, and yeah, everything is good, guys. And let the animation use it in less ascent. So let's just keep styling this website. So now for the section of the about, let's go for the section of the about. Let's inside the about, let's use again the display get, or let me just copy and paste it. Display get, and instead of 2, let be 1, because I want to be in the next line. So add the position relative and the grid gap 100 pixel, text align center. Now let me use a before, just like I use this circle again. I use a before instead of image. Okay, let me just copy and paste it again. Copy, paste it here. This is about before, and the top be a 20% left minus 17%. There we go. And for the width and the height, be a 400 pixel. I think it's good. Yes. And yeah. And let me use the index because I want to add the hover in the boxes. So the index be a -5. Okay, now this is about before. Now let's use about row because I want to add a display flex to be in the same line of this 3 box. So about row, display flex, and the grid gap 50 pixels. Okay, now for the row 2 or row 1, row 2, and just like I said, this is a box. I want to add the display flex and the flex action column to be in the next line, this icon and this the text. So display flex and align item be a center, flex action column, and let me add a space. So grid gap, let me 100 pixel for the space, and let me add the position relative, and let me add the padding a little, 15 pixel, and let's use a flex 120%. There we go. And now let me use icon and icon style it too. Let's use a position relative because I want to add this before again, this square before again. Okay, so instead of image. Okay, now for the icon to style the font size, icon to icon. Okay, the font size 2.0 rem. Border radius 50%. Color ghost white. Adding 10 pixel. Background still transparent. And the box shadow, let me just copy again, paste it here, and let's use a black instead. So let me just delete this, and let me add this 30 pixel, and for the RGB 35 pixel, 35 pixel. Okay, here we go. And now let me add a border 1 pixel solid, and let me add this color A2 CBD7. Okay, let me add this color, and this is icon. Okay, now for the, let me add the icon before, just like I said, because I want to add a square. So in an icon, let me I don't have, I think I don't have yes, I don't have, so I don't have a square, so icon before. And let me just copy this content and the position absolute. Okay, copy this and paste it here. Now for the top, 50%, and this 50%. Okay, transform, translate, and let me add a rotate because I want to be like this, 45 degree. Okay, here we go. And for the box, let me just copy this again and paste it here. Okay, 100% and 50. There you go. Let's use the border radius 15% to be a circle instead of a square. And yeah, I think, and if you want to become a square instead of circle, just add the 15 pixel, it will be a square. But let's use a circle instead of that. Okay, there we go. Now this is the icon before, and for icon 2 before, I want to add a background transparent. Okay, oh sorry for that, because we don't have a background. Yes, I don't have a background. Okay, now just let me add icon 2 before to be a same box shadow and the same background. The background be a transparent as usual, as a normal of this is a circle. So now let me create a row before of this box. Let me just add a background for it. So row before, add the content empty, position absolute. Again, let me just copy and paste it. Okay, there we go. And let me just delete the rotate, we don't need it. For the top and left, 15%, very good. And for the width and the height, let be 420, or yes, 20 pixels, 420 pixels. Let's use the same 420 pixels. There you go. Okay, the background, let's use this background and the box shadow because I want to be a black color. Okay, and set the border radius 15 pixel. I don't want to be a circle, let me just square, 15 circle. Z index -5. Okay, and add the transition because I want to add the hover for it. So transition, and now for the hover of this row before. Okay, let me this background and this box. So this box shadow, let me just copy, and the background, let's use a simple black. Black, yes, simple. Okay, now for, let me just style this A link. As you can see, the text A link. So let's just call text A. Padding 15 pixel, 25 pixel, font size 1.2 rem, text decoration none, color ghost white, position relative, and as the index 1, transition, and let me 4 seconds is in 2 seconds, 0.2 seconds, yes. Okay, now set up border radius 40 pixel. And the background and the box shadow, again, let me just copy this. Yes, I think this is good. Copy this and paste it. Let me add a custom background. And let me this color just like a background of this body. Okay, now for the box shadow, let me a 10 pixel and 15 pixel instead of 50 pixel. Okay, now for this inset 2 pixel, let me just change a color A2. Okay, this is, and let me add this 0 pixel for this box shadow. Here we go. Now let me add a transition because we want to add hover. Okay, now let me add now let me add a border, 2 pixel solid, and let me add this color. Okay, now for the hover, and let's use a box shadow and border radius. So just copy this, paste it. Let be this color of the border, and for the box shadow, let's use something, let me use this, just like this. Let's use this, and let's be a 70 pixel. Okay, and this be a 15 pixel, and yeah, let 2 pixel 0 pixel. Yes, I add a custom box shadow. Okay, and now let me add after of this text A because I want to add this line, as you can see, in the center of this word. So text A after, and let me just copy again position absolute and the content. Here we go, paste it here. Now for the top, 53%. Okay, the transform. Okay, now for the width, 0 pixel. Okay, and the height, 2 pixel is enough. Background, this color, yes, let's use a custom color again, and the box shadow be this again. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Yes, okay. Now let me add a border radius, for just adding something different. Border radius 50 pixel or 15%. I'm sorry. Transition 0.4 seconds. Okay. Now in a hover, I want to add a width to create this line. So text A hover after, and set the width 225 pixel. Here we go. As you can see, we created this A after. Okay, now let's go for the section. Let me just check a website and let's see what's happened. Let me just check it. Okay, let me just check a website. I'm sorry guys, I think I add the wrong code. Set width 100%. I want to be a whole of this icon and the text, and 140%. I didn't check a code, I'm sorry. And for the box shadow, we don't need a black. Let's use this box shadow. Okay, yep, sorry guys, I'm sorry guys, I just, where's the row? And yes, here we go. Let me just paste it here. I think now it's better, I think. Let me just check it again. Yeah, I'm sorry again guys, I didn't check your website. And let's go next for the this buy page, as you can see. So in a buy page, I want create padding for it. So buy page, let me call it, and let me add a padding 170 pixel and 0% for the left and the right. Set the position relative. Here we go. Now let me create again this circle. Yes, Oh no, let me just create this line. I'm sorry, let me just create this line. So before, by before, and let's use this same after, as we can use this. Let me use the same. Okay, and let me add a rotate 90 degree. There we go. And now set the width 120%, and let the height be the same 2 pixel. Yep. And for the background, let's use this color. Okay, there we go. Yeah, not better. And let me add a border radius. Oh no, border. Okay, we have a border radius. Border 2 pixels solid. The color with this again. Yep, everything is good. And let me add the z-index. Oh, we don't need the transition again. Z-index -1. There we go. This is a line in the center of this by page. So now in a row box, let me add it again, just like about row. So row box, display flex, justify content, space between, null item, center. Set the position relative and the grid gap for distance and the space 50 pixel. Padding 100 pixel, 0 pixel, and text align center. Now for the div and the div, for the div 1 and the div 2, let's add width and the height for it. So div 1 and div 2. Set the width and the height 100%. And add the content. I want to add the content because I wanted to create a box for the width and the height. So, and now set the position relative. Here we go. And we didn't create a row before 2. So for the row 2 before, let me just create it again. Row 2 before, and let's just use a rotate for it, something different, 45 degree. And yeah, I think it's good. Let me just so the box shadow, let me 20 pixel, I think. Let me just check the website to see what's going on. Okay, let's add a custom width and height. So instead of 100%, let me use a 420 pixel. Yep, 420 pixel, yes, and this custom for width and height. Here we go. And yeah, and for this circle, as you can see in the center of the by page, let's create it. Name it. I think I name it square by. Yes, I name it square by instead of circle by. Doesn't matter. Square by. And let me just copy this circle of icon or icon. Yes, icon. Let me just copy this and paste it here. Okay. Set the width 200%, 200 pixel, and this height 200 pixel. Okay, and the box should be the same. We don't need the background, and add the nothing. Yes, here we go. This is a square by. Now let me create inside this square by. Let me create a before and after. And again, I create a before and after. And if you guys don't like it, just skip it. Okay. Let me just create a before and after. So in a before, so the top and the left be the same, rotate be the same, and let's use a width 70% instead of 100% to be smaller than a square by again. 70%. Here we go. And the border radius 50%. Here we go. And for the after, again inside it, let me add this 0 pixel, 0 pixel, 5 pixel, 5 pixel. Yes, here we go. Box shadow via this. Okay, now for the after, let be at 25% for this width and the height. 25% for the width and the height. again, and let's use this box shadow 10 pixel, oh, and 5 pixel. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is after, and let me add the border 2 pixels solid, and the color is this. Yes, I think now better. Here we go. This is our buy page. Let me just check it and see what's happened. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't name it after. Name it after. Yep, now better. There we go. This is a circle. And yeah, everything we created again. And you know what? Let me add inset inside the square by. So inside the square by, let me insert be a 30 pixel or 20 pixels is enough. 30 or 20. Yes, 20 pixels is enough, guys. And yeah, here we go. Yeah, for just beautiful. Okay, now let's go for this contact page. Let's go. We reached the last lesson for the animation. Okay, now in the content, add a display flex or grid. Let's use a grid template column, repeat, 2, 1 of 1, align item, center, position relative, and the grid gap 50 pixel. Here we go for this and the space. Now for the form, let's style it, display flex, and I want to add a flex action column. So add just for content center, align item center, and the flex action column to be in the next line. There we go, position relative. Now for the form before, for this this is square, so let me just copy this instead of that. Okay, for this form before, let me add it, and the top be the same, left be the same, and we don't need to rotate. I want be a circle. The width be 80%, and the height 120%. The box shadow be a 50 pixel and a 20 pixel. Okay, and yeah, let me have 5 pixel. So, okay, yes, everything. And instead of circle, let me a 15 pixel. And the z-index -2. Here we go. Now let's style the form input. So the form input or input doesn't matter. Form input. Set the width 300 pixel, height 50 pixel, margin 20 pixel, 0 pixel, and the background set this color hashtag. Yep. And the box shadow again, copy paste it. We just copy pasted, I'm sorry for this, but yeah, 20 pixels, set it, let me 20 pixel, 15 pixel. Yep, everything is good. Now for the border radius, let me add the border radius, simple, 15 pixel, and add the padding for this placeholder be a center in this input. So padding be 20 pixel is enough, and the border 2 pixel, solid, and the color be gray, and the color of inside the input let be ghost white. The transition, because we want to add hover, so let me add a hover, or let me add the text area. Let me just add the text area, copy paste it, text area, and just change a height to 170 pixels. Here we go. This is the height, and yeah, we don't need to change anything of the text area. Now for the form input hover, let's add a little width for it, 313 or 15, 30 pixel is enough, I think, yes. And for the text area, let be a simple hover. I'm sorry, text area hover. Let me add the same width, let be as 350 pixel. Okay, I'm sorry, 350 pixel. And let me Let me add a color custom for the placeholder. So input placeholder, input placeholder. Let the color be a ghost white. Yeah, color be a ghost white. Here we go. And now for a button, let's style it just like A-Link. Let me just copy the A-Link style. Where is it? Yes, here is it. Copy and paste it again here. Font size be the same and the padding all be the same. Let's use a background transparent, and instead of that, box shadow be the same. Yes, yeah. And let me add the custom width 200 pixel and the cursor pointer. There we go. And let me add the before just like we add the after for this A-Link. I want to be a next be a line inside of this word. So this takes a after, and let me just copy this. And instead of that, let be a button. Okay, now in this, let me just name it before, be a simple instead of after. Okay, now inside this before, we don't need it. I think, yeah, everything is good. Let me a 10 pixel instead of that, and yeah, this is good for this button before. And for the hover, let me add this. Okay, for the hover be at 300 pixel. I think it's good. Yeah, 300 pixel. Okay, and let me add a button hover again. Button hover to add a width and box shadow. So for width, let be at 240 pixel for the button hover. And I think we have, yes, I think we add the transition. There we go. And for the, let me add the border to this solid, and let me add this color. Okay, and for the box shadow, let's use the same box shadow. The color change it to CFF. Yes, there we go. Yeah, I think it's good. Let me 70. Yeah, now it's good for the button hover and the button hover before, or instead of after, before. Okay, now let's go for the footer. Or you know what, let me just see the website, what's the problem, everything is good or not. The line is not working. Oh oh, sorry, button hover, we don't need a dot. Okay, let me add this placeholder for this text area again. Text area placeholder. Let me add the color because white. Here we go. Let's go for the footer, and next we go for the animation. So in the footer, padding top, let me add a custom padding. So 120 pixel, display flex, justify content, be a space between for this logo and this three menu, as you can see it, and align item center. Now for the BG footer, as I said, because I want to add a background for this section, so BG footer, let me add a position relative, and now let me add a BG footer before to create this background. Okay, the content empty, position absolute, top 60%, and the left 50%. Translate, I didn't copy, but 50% minus 50% and minus 50%. Set the width 100%, height 110%, and the box shadow let be a color black. So whereas let the color be black instead of light, where I find it, I didn't change RGB, I'm sorry. RGB 4 instead of 5. Yes, I didn't change. I'm sorry guys. Okay, and here we go. Let me add this box shadow. Yeah, let me just change this to 15 pixel and this be 5 pixel. And let me add the z-index -2. And now let me add the flex footer to add display flex. Display flex. There we go. And now for cool, I want to add a flex action column. So cool, add the display flex again. Display flex and the flex action column. There we go. And let me add a margin for add a space between this A link and this A link and this A link. So margin 0 pixel, 75 pixel. There we go. And now let me add a custom font size and custom style for these links. So cool A, the color. Let me add this color. Okay. There we go. Let me add this. Margin button 10 pixel, text decoration none, font size 1.2 rem, just like a link 1.400, and the transition, let me add the transition for hover. Okay, here we go, and position rotate. Now for the hover, let's use a simple hover. Okay, color be a ghost white. And one last thing, it's beautiful, add a transform scale 1.2 rem. This is so beautiful and I use it every time for this hover of the A link, as you can see it now. Okay, now let me create this circle as you can see in this website. Okay, let me just create this circle. So let me just create after or before. Let me just create after. Yeah, after instead of before. And let me just copy a circle of you know what, let me just copy this instead of that. Yes, copy and paste it here for the after 50. Okay, the top be a 56% and left be a -28%. Yeah, let rotate. It's a circle. Rotate 45 degree. Set the width and the height 20 pixel. Okay, 20 pixel. Okay, here we go. And the background, let me add the background for it. Let me add this color after this background. And the box shadow, let me 20 pixel, 15 pixel, yes, 20 pixel. Okay. Inset 5 pixel, 5 pixel, yes, 5 pixel. Yeah, now everything is good, great. Let me add a transition because I want to add the hover for it. Okay, now let me add the hover. Okay, now let me add the hover and let me add a box shadow so the background be the same. Oh, you know what, let me just copy this set. Background be the same, but I want to add a new inset of this black color, you know. Let be a white or black color. I don't have anything in mind, but let me use this color. Yeah. Okay, now for the last, because I want to add adding 0 pixels, so the last, let me add the last instead of button on the top, let me add 0 pixel 10%, just for the left and right, no need for the bottom and the top. Okay, this is the last. Now for the copyright, I want to add the position relative because I want to create this line as you can see in the first video. So for this copyright before, let me just again copy and paste it. This, here we go, I find it, paste it here, and let me minus 50% inner top. Okay, and set the width 100%. Height 2 pixels. Yes, the color of the background, let be a white, ghost white. Yeah. And box shadow 70 pixel, 15 pixel. Yes, 5 pixel, 5 pixel, 5 pixel. Yeah. And yeah, everything is good. Now let me just check the website and let's go for the creating of the animation. Okay, the line and the A-link hoverline doesn't work. What? Copyright. Before yes, damn it. Wait. I'm sorry, let me check it. Oh, copyright. I added this. Okay, here we go. Now we created this copyright before. And for the A-link hover, let me just check it. Cool, A hover. Color password transfer. Oh, I'm sorry. 1.2 scale for this. And now it's work, guys. I'm sorry again. And here we go. And you can see this hover and this copyright before. And now we create everything. Just need to add animation. And if you want to kind of skip it, I just need to add a little animation, simple animation. So in this, I start with this image of this. Let me just okay. Let me add it in this first image and the second image. Let's use the same animation for this three image. So first image, let me first animation. Let's name it Kimi 10-second linear forwards infinite. Okay, now just copy, paste it here. 25 seconds for the time of the animation, and this be 18 seconds. Okay, and now let me just create keyframes. Kimi. Okay, in 0%, which have a transform. Let's add a transform, custom, rotate 45 degree. Okay, let's add a custom rotate. Okay, now in a 25%, just keep change after this rotate. Let be 85 degree, and in a 50%, let's add a sample animation for it. Again, just change this rotate 120 degree. And you know, let me add something different. Let me add a skew for it, just like we added in part 2 of before and after of the CSS instead of the image. Okay, let me add a skew 4 degree, 7 degree. And let be this 130%, 30 degree. I'm sorry. And now enough. Let me just copy. I'm sorry. Let me 75%, 210 degree, and in 90%. Again, let me just copy this because I want to add a skew. 0 degree for the rotate, and a skew 4 degree, 6 degree. There we go. And now 100%. Let's use the same rotate of the 0%. Here we go. This is a simple animation. Just add something different, a skew for it. Hope you like it, guys. Anyway, let's go for the next animation, and let me add it in this center. As you can see, in the center of this is a circle. So I want to add a new animation instead of the Kimi. So let me just find it. Squared by, yes, here we go. Animation. Let's name it Kimi 2. 8-second linear forwards infinite. You know, let me just copy these keyframes and paste it. Yeah. Okay. Now let me add the transform translate. I'm sorry, transform translate. Okay, translate. Let me add to all of this keyframes. Okay, and yep, this and this. Here we go. Okay, now let me change of this skew in a 51%. Let me add it, and let me add it in a in this 50%, and let me a 12 degree, 5 degree, and let me add a border radius here, 15 pixel, 15 pixel to become a square instead of circle in a 51%. Okay, and in a 75%, let me add a skew again. Let me just copy again, paste it here, 75%, and set the border radius to become again circle, 15%, and let me add it here again. Okay, 50%, and just copy this and add it in 90% to become again square. This is a simple animation. Just add a border radius to become a square and circle and a little skew. And yeah, this is for this center of this by page. And I think last animation, no, we didn't have any. And yeah, this is the all animation that we get here, guys. Let me just see why the animation not work again. I didn't add, I didn't change the name of the keyframes. I'm sorry, guys. And this bikini one, here we go. And now the animation is working, guys. Sorry for that. Let's go for the media. Okay, guys. Now I have this media from that video of the plan 2 without any image before and after CSS. I just copied this and pasted. I hope you don't mind with that. But yeah, now everything is now here for the H3 font size be 1.4 rem of this media. H1 be 2.3 rem, title H1 3.2 rem, and for the P of the description 1.1 rem. Now the section, we just reduce the padding of the left and the right to 8%, as you can see it, and this for the header of the menu, and this for this of the title, and this image, as you can see it. So next media, again we just reduce this. I think we don't need the H3. We just reduce the H1 and the P and the text A of the A link, the same. I don't need the P again. Sorry again. Okay. And now, as you can see, I just reduce a little size from the circle of this before, as you can see, and it's just like the same. We use it in this video of this before and after. I just reduce it to 300 pixel, as you can see. And for the home image, I use a transform scale of reduce a little size from this image and this circle. Okay, we don't need a square and circle because we don't have it. I think yes, we don't have it. Let me just delete it and delete this. Okay, text A before. Do we have a text A before? I don't remember text A before. No, we don't have a text A before. We have a text A after, yes, the line, yes, we just resize it. And for cool of this space that we add a custom margin, if you remember, for the left and the right, reduces a little from this left and right be a 60 pixel. Okay, now for the next media of the tablet, again we reduce the font size and the padding of the left and the right to 6%, as you can see it, and we remove the max width because I added display grid to repeat 1 and the 1 apart in the next line, as you can see it. Okay, and now let me just resize this image. Okay, let me just resize this image, and we have overflow is, as you can see in this media. Let me just resize it here. in this media. I'm sorry. Let me add a row too. You can see this box is we add the custom of the width and the height, and even if you add the width and the height to 100%, it will be not good, guys. I don't recommend to use it. So let me just use something special. Let me add a row to before, and let's use a scale instead of the width and the height. And if you didn't watch this video of resize the before and after or any image, I recommend you watch this video because it's so good, and you will learn something new for the resizing of the before and after and image instead of the width and height with a scale. Okay, let me add this transform and translate -50% and -50%, and add the rotate. We have 45 degree, and now add a scale to 0.65 or 4, yeah. And let me just change the top. Let me at 30%, 13%, okay, 30%, and be in the center of this icon, as you can see it. Now I think this is beautiful and better instead of having overflow X. And let me just resize the first image, and we can't use a scale in this because we use the animation of the transform. If you use an animation with the transform, you can use any custom of a transform in this media. So let me just change a width instead of a scale. Let me use a width instead of scale. So let's be 110 pixel, and for second image, second image, let be a 400 pixel, yeah, instead of 500 pixel. And the third one, let be a 205 pixel, 5 pixel. There we go. Third image, yeah, now much better, I think. Let's go to the next media. We don't have overflow X. Next media again for the tablet, and just like I said, let me continue what I said. Now this again, no need for this, and we just resize this home image of this box of this image and this before with just a little scale. And let me add a div before. Do we have a div to before? I didn't add a div to before. Yes, let me just see the website. Okay, I didn't add a div to before, so we don't need it. And now second box. Yep, we add order -1, float none. What is this? Okay, and the cool. And let me add a little custom of the margin to be a 30 pixel for the space of the left and right. Okay, and yeah, this is everything for this tablet. And the next video we use a grid and a little reduce the font size for this, and remove the max width of the P and the H1, and for the left and right to be a 4% instead of 6%. Here we have a title, and this let me repeat 1 and 1 and 4 to be in the next line instead of in the same line. Okay, and then the text align center. Now we don't have a circle. Okay, cool. Let's see what we have here. Everything is set. About, yes, repeat is. Now the about row, we add the display flex instead of the flex this, and we add a grid gap for the space and add a flex section column. And for the row again, we add the flex section column and the support content center. And for the contact again, we add the repeat 1 1 and 4. And for the form before, wait, what is this? We add the custom width and height. We don't need it, I think. Yeah, we don't need it. Okay, yeah, we don't need it. And you know what? Let me add it again. Where was? Let me just find it, guys. Or you know what? Let me add it. Let me add it for this. That's will be okay. Okay, this is a custom of the width and the height for this form of this media of the font. And the footer, we add the text align center, and the cool A, we add the custom font size to reduce a little size from the font size. And for this after of this circle, as you can see in the website. And now let me just reduce a little size from this square of row 2. So again, let me just copy, where is it? Oh, there we go. Let me just copy this and paste it here, and a little size from it, and let me a 35 of this scale. And yeah, and let me add a home image before. Let me resize it one more before. Okay, before. Yep, before. Set the width and the height 400 pixels. Yeah, now better. And let me just change the position of this image. It is a third one, and the third one be position absolute. No need, just at the top minus 100%. Okay, there we go. And the last media, guys, for the last media, I don't think we need to change anything. We add the same custom font size. Okay, we add the same custom font size, and then we add the left and right 2% instead of 4%. And yeah, just like in the same video. Yeah, the footer, we add the flex section column to be in the next line. And for the font before, we again, no animation we have, yeah, again the same custom font size, custom width and height, I'm sorry guys. Okay, and row 2, we add order 2. Very good. And by the way, I don't think we didn't have a second. Where is the second? We don't have a second box. What is this? Okay, and yeah, we don't have a square and circle again. And never lie, we add a padding 10 pixels and 5 pixels. Yeah. What is this? By before, yes. Now, yeah, by before. Okay. Yeah, cool. Everything is good. Yeah. And let me, this is the line of this by page. Again, it's not that's good. Let me at 22%, and let me this. Okay, and let me just remove this square by and add display flex, display none to remove it. I'm sorry, display none. Okay, inspect, I remove it, display none. Here we go, and done. Okay, I didn't add about before to resize it a little. I just resize it here, and let be a 300 pixel. Okay, I just resize it in inspect, and yeah, this is good now. There we go, and this is everything you need to learn it, guys. Okay guys, we done the part 2 of creating advanced website with the CSS. Well, this video made with the image, so I think it's for beginner. But anyway, I hope you enjoy it, and make sure to subscribe and hit the like button. And if you have a question or you have a problem with the CSS, add me a comment to answer your question. And if your question wasn't simple, I create a nice video with a best detail to solve your problem. And I see you next part and the part 3, guys.